Before we've used factoring by grouping to look at four-term polynomials. Here we're going to look at how we factor trinomials. So if we were thinking about this, let's just say if we had x plus 5 times x plus 2, and we work this out, we get what? X squared plus 7x plus 10. Okay. We say that x plus 5 times x plus 2 is a factored form of this polynomial. When we think about this, you know, I guess just writing it out would be the best way to put it. If we look at a factored form, and in this x squared plus bx plus c, okay, so x squared plus bx plus c, so we have two positive signs in here. If we want to factor this, we have to look, and we're going to be saying, okay, we have an x here and an x here, because x times x is x squared. But when we look at this, we're going to have a number here and a number here that we don't know what these are. The thing is, the product, or when we multiply these together, has to equal our c value. But also, the sum has to equal our b value. So, what do I mean by that? Well, let's look at another example here. And let's say we want to factor x squared plus 7x plus 12. Now, we know, since our coefficient here is 1 times x squared, that we're going to have an x in one binomial and an x in the other one. We have two positive signs, so we'll be positive here and here. Really, what we really want to do is say, okay, we need to find two numbers where the product is 12. So the two numbers where the product is equal to 12, or our c value right here, and the sum of these two products is equal to 7, or our b value right here. So let's look at factors of 12. So we can have 12 times 1, 6 times 2, 4 times 3. That's about it. So if we add these, 12 and 1, that's 13. 6 and 2 is 8. 4 and 3 is 7. So if we look, we need to have two numbers. The product is equal to 12. All these numbers multiplied together, the product is equal to 12. And the sum has to equal 7. So we're looking at down here 4 and 3. So what we have to do is just put our numbers in here, x plus 4 times x plus 3. Now if we multiply these, x times x is x squared, x times 3 is 3x, 4 times x is 4x, 4 times 3 is 12. Now we combine like terms, we get x squared plus 7x plus 12. So this is what we do when we factor. This is the important part right here. We have to have, with a leading term with a coefficient of 1. Now, remember, this term here has to have a coefficient of 1 for this to work properly. So we look for two numbers whose product is 12 and whose sum is 7. Okay. Let's look at another example here. Let's say we have a squared plus 2a plus 10. Okay. Now again, we know we're going to have an a here and an a here because we have a coefficient of 1 on our leading term. We're looking at numbers who multiply together to make 10, who add together to make 2. Now, if we look at this from products of 10, or I should say factors of 10, not products, factors of 10. we can see we have 1 times 10 and 2 times 5. Okay. Neither one would give us the required sum of 2. So really, if we look at this, we can't factor this with anything that we know. So right now, all we can do with this is say we can't factor this. This is already in its simplest form. This is a prime polynomial. So if we can't factor them like this, we say they're prime. Okay?